So I get certain comments, and I can see that a lot of people are still confused about exactly what the issue is with 2K. And many people, they say things like, the reason why they're doing this, the things that I cover on this channel, the reason why they program the game this way is for money, right? To get you to buy more VC, to get you to do this or that. But the reality of it is that that is not the case at all. That's not why they're doing it. They have trouble programming because basketball, unlike most other sports, is when it comes down to programming it as a video game, there are so many different components to it, and there's so many different things happening on the court. It's not as stale as something like football, but they basically are having trouble. And it's not to say that games like Madden don't cheat, because I've seen certain things, but they're having trouble programming the AI to play out a more realistic version of a simulation basketball game, right? So what they do to compensate for what what the AI is lacking is they tune the algorithm, and they program a long list of different animations and situations, predetermined outcomes, and all kind of scripted scenarios. They programmed it into the game in order to give off the feeling of computer being a challenge, to fill it out, to make it seem like you can't just get on and just beat computer by 100 points like I've done before, and I showed it on this channel. So that is really the purpose. They're trying to give off the illusion or the impression that the game is an actual challenge, right? That is what you're looking at. They're trying to, and also they're trying to imitate that theatrical element of basketball with a lot of gimmicky things that they put in the game, such as like in basketball, you get a chase down block, somebody cross you over and blow by you, and then you get to run up behind them and chase down and block their shot. That's something that happens naturally in real life, but in the game mode, what they have to do, they're trying to, they force those types of situations. Or you're dribbling the ball and your man, he loses it and fumbles the ball. That happens in real life, but instead of allowing you to make those mistakes, what they do instead is they force those situations to happen instead of allowing it to play out naturally, right? Or that those close games that come down to the last 2 minutes when the screen starts shaking and all like that, that happens naturally in real life, but they force those types of situations to happen in the video game form, right? So all throughout the game, the algorithm is making sure that the score stays close enough, right? They're trying to imitate the theatrical entertainment value element of real basketball, while at the same time they're trying to make computer feel like a challenge. They're trying to help them compete, but they're being lazy about it. They're not really programming the game, the AI, to really be more realistic and have their computer be smarter, right? So let's play this video, then we're gonna get into it. All right, now as you can see right here, and here's another thing: when they're doing their programming, they know to make it not so noticeable. So it's typically very subtle when you're being cheated in a certain situation. It's typically very, very, very subtle. You don't really notice it offhand until you slow it down, and then you get the pan of the camera around and looking at everything like, wow, they forced me to slow down. Wow, they made me stop. Wow, I ran into the force field. Wow, that dude was already behind me and he was able to slide all the way up. Wow, they made my computer run behind the defense when I passed the ball so I get a turnover. You have to, they know how to manipulate it in a way where it's not noticeable, and they bank on the average, the typical user who plays this game, that does not see that type of stuff. Most people are not going to be intelligent enough to really understand what's going on. That's part of the reason why this channel probably, it may not go all that far, right? Because it's only a selective handful of people that's going to even notice these things. So let's look at this. I come down and I get the blow by on the defense. Easy. This is an easy bucket. Right here at this point, there's virtually nothing that should be able to be done about me getting this bucket off, right? But you take it back, you will start to see a lot of times, especially in 2K22, when you're starting to approach the rim and you're about to get an easy bucket, they force you to start to break down into different animations, or they may force you to just slow down completely because they're trying to give computer the ability to catch up and throw off your shot, right? So right here, you check it out, I'm approaching the rim. Right here is where I start to slow down. But then when you look, my man, he leans back, right? You see that there's a moment where it's like he does like a ticking, jerking type of animation where it's like he just starts to lean back right there. All right, I don't know if you can notice, it's like a glitch, but that is the algorithm triggering my man to do a leaning back animation in order to throw off the ability to make the shot. But in reality, he should have just dunked it. He had an easy dunk opportunity coming up, but the game, it doesn't want that to happen. It's trying to prevent me from actually scoring right here, right? So instead of allowing me to just punch it, and just get an easy bucket, I'm forced to submit to the defense that's behind me by leaning back. Then he gets to, not only that, but he even fouled, right? This is clearly a foul. I get these type of foul calls all the time, right? Arm inside the arm, hand inside the arm. He ain't touched nothing but my man, right? See what I'm saying? And I have a much larger player. So why should he be allowed to do what he's doing? Because the game is forcing it to happen, right? I've talked about these back leaning animations, right? It's all put there by design to prevent you from being able to score every time you run to the rim. You start to slow down, you start to lag, you do an illogical layup animation, and it's all to help the defense get inside the play, right? Because they can't do anything with you for the most part. But anyway, peace.